Okay, so I was definitely not expecting to see Bluey in an episode of South Park. Of course, Bluey is an Australian icon at this stage, okay? This little guy, like every single person in Australia, like it's like our biggest achievement ever. It's like we had Crocodile Dundee and now we have Bluey, okay? It's our biggest export, and seeing that represented in an episode of South Park was just both unexpected, but also just, I don't know, like I think that's a huge milestone for Australian pop culture to be represented in what I believe is the biggest show on television at the moment, if not only followed by Bluey, to be honest. And this week's episode was an incredible satire, back to kind of like what I really like from South Park. Of course, it still had the Donald Trump and Satan subplot, which I guess they're just going all in on at this point, and I did a video last week about how I didn't really love that. But all the stuff South Park has done in the last few years, looking at AI and ChatGPT, and now finally Sora, the image and video generation tool, I think this is some great commentary on some pretty big, serious ideas on AI and what the future might look like, examined through the gaze of like elementary school children, and I think that's what South Park does best. So let's take a look a little bit closer at this episode. What's up guys, Mike here. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit subscribe for more content like this. Let's do it. Okay, so we are at this point of technology where there is literally no going back. ChatGPT is here to stay, all these other LLMs, and now video and image generation tools. These are super controversial, by the way. Like, there are people who are really against AI art being made in any way, and Sora really exacerbated this conversation. Not only is there like controversy around like deepfake, AI generated adult content used of people without their consent, which is definitely something that is happening and will continue to happen with this kind of thing. There is also the problem of intellectual property being essentially stolen and used by people, and that is sort of where this episode focuses. And I'm going to kind of self-censor around some of the more adult themes in this episode, because there is like a serious through line to this relatively funny episode in which the children of South Park are making explicit material without the consent of the people it's about, basically using it to get back at other students in their class. And this is such a huge issue happening all over the world at the moment. Like, this is a serious issue happening, and it's happening a lot in schools, right? Where kids don't really understand the consequences of these things, so they are more prone to just use it kind of liberally, willy-nilly, without really thinking about it. Butters makes AI content featuring various fictional characters, including Santa Claus, excreting onto a female classmate, and the boys are all really disappointed that he's doing this. And later he does stuff with Totoro, the beloved character from Studio Ghibli, and this is the thing. I mean, I feel like for whatever reason, when AI image generation first came out, like the first thing that happened was like Studio Ghibli and AI art. Like, people were making Studio Ghibli-fied versions of themselves, and then like Simpsons version of themselves and South Park version of themselves, and it's just so easy for the AI to spit this out that it just was doing it. And now you can literally get Totoro to do anything. Like, he will literally do anything you want him to on Sora, and you're essentially stealing this IP from another brand that doesn't want their IP represented in the way that you're going to make them represent themselves. Various other characters like Popeye the Sailor Man are used in the South Park episode. And then we get, I guess, the Japanese staff of Studio Ghibli complaining about their IP being misused in this way by the students in South Park. Very funny scene, by the way, but to be honest, this is genuinely real. Like, this has really happened. Like, I'm pretty sure Miyazaki's son complained earlier this year about how AI steals the soul of all of Studio Ghibli's work, and Studio Ghibli's animation style was, all hand painted or hand done, hand drawn animation that AI can never really encapsulate the spirit of that. And this feels like an ongoing question that we're having with AI, which is like, what is AI art without human spirit? Like, we all somehow on some level agree that there is a human spirit behind art that AI can't capture. But I guess then the question is, if human art looks like this and AI art looks exactly the same, like, who's to tell the difference, really? That's kind of how we end up with Bluey in the court case, talking about how she was misused and her IP was misused by these boys to create revenge material. And again, huge milestone for Australian pop culture for Bluey to pop up in an episode of South Park. This was awesome, and like, they captured the animation style of Bluey pretty well, and it made me think that Bluey's animation and South Park's animation aren't all that different. Like, that it actually like blended super well compared to like in the past when they've used like Bart Simpson, and they had to, South Parkify Bart Simpson, and it just doesn't look anything like the Simpsons animation. I think I really liked it. Hey guys, sorry, super quick interruption that if you like this video, I'd love for you to subscribe and jump on my channel. I'm doing all kinds of content on 2000s, 90s, Gen Z and millennial pop culture and nerd culture. If you like this, I think you'll like a bunch of my other videos, and I would really love to have you on board. It would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button and come along this journey with me. So yeah, thank you so much. Back to the vid. There are so many ethical questions that this episode raises about all of this technology, and this is South Park at its best. This is South Park doing what it really excels at. And I'm scared. I'm actually scared for my children's generation and their children's generation, because kids are irresponsible. They do things without thinking. They do things impulsively. They do things reactively, and they don't really have the ability to understand the broader lifelong consequences of some of the things they do. So if you have a whole generation of kids with this unprecedented technology in their hands, genuinely, what is going to happen? Genuinely, what is the consequences of this? And I don't know the answer to this, and I'm not trying to preach that this is wrong and AI is totally wrong, but there are parts of AI that are really dangerous for children, and this episode really highlights that in a really big way. Plus, then you get the legal and morally questionable activities of using IP and characters for this kind of content. If anyone can just generate whatever they want that looks realistic as well, like I've seen so much of this stuff with characters like SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Star and like all of these other pop culture fictional characters, because the thing about humans is we're just weird. We're like sick, funny creatures that just do weird stuff. And like, if there's something we want to see, now we can just see it. Now we can just make it. Like, it's a really strange paradigm we're currently existing in. AI is just, I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about this, but I think South Park really tackled these issues quite well, really illustrated a lot of these issues quite well, and I'm really grateful that we got an episode like this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hey, if you like this, leave a comment below. What did you think of the episode? What do you think about the issues with AI that I've kind of talked about in this video? I would love to know down below. If you can't think of a comment, but you want to help me out in the algorithm because you're a good guy and you think I'm a good guy, just comment below Bluey. That way I know you made it to the end of the video and you're still here watching. While I've got you, you might also like last week's video on the last South Park episode before this, but if you just want to binge watch a bunch of my analysis videos on South Park, whole playlist right here. Go ahead and binge it. That's pretty much it from me though. My name's Radio Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind, and I'll catch you later.